G'day, sport. Why don't you stick a shrimp on the barbie and then we can enjoy this lovely Juicy IPA. Let's get ready to rock. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're reviewing the first beer from the Beer52 Melbourne box, and it is this one titled simply Juicy IPA. And this is from the Free Ravens, a Melbourne-based brewery, and established in 2003, so they've been going quite a long while. And all we know really about it is it's a New England India Pale Ale, coming in at 6% on the nose. Is it 6%? Yeah, 6% in the nose. And it's in this 375ml can. Now, I thought it was quite strange. If you've seen the unboxing, you'll see that we've got quite a few of these 375, which is an interesting sort of size because obviously most of the time we get cans, we get either 330ml, certainly in the UK, or 440ml. So I did a bit of research on why these different size. And apparently the size of a schooner, now if you've ever been to Australia and you've ever gone there and thought, why have I got a sort of a small pint of beer here? Well, it's actually a schooner. Schooner's 425ml in terms of its size, but the can of beer is 375 to allow for that extra difference between that and the 425 50ml being the head of the beer. So if you had a schooner glass, this beer can should fit very nicely inside it. Unfortunately, I don't have a schooner glass. I've got this glass, so I'm going to get this beer out of the can and into the glass and see what it's like. So I'm really excited about these because, like, Australia, sunshine, I'm expecting these to be, oh, look at that. I mean, I'm expecting them to be like this, like tropical fruit cocktails of beer. I mean, that actually fits quite nicely in this glass. So there we go, bright yellow there, quite high levels of carbonation. You can see that all those bubbles are there. We've got one finger of head. It's very yellow, but it's not, I mean, it's not quite a thick custard. It looks quite light and sort of reasonably thin. It's very, very light yellow. It almost looks like a snowball, which, you know, I did partake in a few snowballs over the Christmas period. But now, yeah, let's get into something a bit juicy. So there we go. Let's get some aromas, shall we? Picking up quite a lot of pineapple in there. There's also lots of citrusy sort of aromas as well. I'm getting lemons and limes and oranges. Something else in there, but it's really got that sort of like a pina colada sort of aroma to it. I mean, it looks like a pina colada and it smells like one. Let's see if it tastes. Happy New Year, everyone, and cheers. Yes, definitely got a big flavour of pineapple. Pineapple with a bit of sort of lemon there on the back end, just giving it a slight sort of twang, really. I wouldn't call it a bitterness, but it's just sort of rounds it off a little bit. It's quite fizzy though, quite high in carbonation. I mean, the head has almost disappeared, but it's very, very fizzy, and it's very sort of, it's quite thin, light. Really nice and refreshing. It sort of drinks more like a pale ale though in terms of its sort of body, quite thin. Big pineapple sort of flavours there, and then there's a real sort of citrusy sort of I suppose a citrus on the sort of back end really, where you get those sort of lemons, also a little bit of grapefruit in there as well. But it's big on pineapple, as you would expect from something that looks like this, to be honest. Let's go in again. Yeah, mouth feels a bit disappointing. It does. I don't know whether it's. I don't know what I've got in my mind that I'm thinking that a lot of these Australian beers are going to be a little bit more fizzier because you've got to. I mean, if you're in Australia, anyone who's been to Australia, certainly in the summertime there, you know, the main reason why they drink schooners, or, you know, in the Northern Territory they drink pots, which is like and even smaller, basically a half a pint really. And the main reason because as soon as you pour the beer into the glass in Australia, you've had a couple of sips and the beer's gone warm. So this is a sort of beer that I think you're gonna want to drink pretty cold, even though you don't traditionally drink an IPA that cold. I mean, it says on the can here, it says best consumed within a few weeks of packaging date, which, I mean, that's really, really quick. But this is actually packaged in September, so it's not a few weeks. And it does say drink cold. What is it? Yeah, keep cold. Best consumed. Well, no, it doesn't say drink cold. But I would say that in Australia, as soon as you've got it out of the fridge, you pour it into a glass, it's gonna get warm quite quickly. Maybe that's when the flavours really come out. Certainly looks pretty good. To me, it's like a lot of New England pales where you get that pineapple flavour, but the body's quite light and thin. It's really good, but let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for this Juicy IPA from the Free Ravens Brewing Company in Melbourne, Australia. And, let's first things first. Aroma. Well, I mean, it's very, very big on pineapple. It does smell like a pina colada. The pineapple is very sort of overpowering, really, and but it's pretty nice. You've got then a little bit of lemon and lime and a little bit of orange, maybe, and even when I smell it now, you've got that slight sort of twang of grapefruit. So, it's almost like that sort of pineapple and grapefruit lilty sort of aroma. It's really nice. I'm giving it a 14 for aroma. Appearance-wise, well, although it hasn't got much of a head, I love that lovely yellow colour. It looks like you would expect it to taste really juicy, really fruity, and a real sort of summer tropical drink, which actually is what it is. It's weird reviewing this in January, but obviously, if I was in Melbourne now in January, I'd probably be not wearing a jumper for a start. I'd probably be in me budgie smugglers. So I'm giving it an 8 for appearance. Okay, flavour. As the aromas, they're very much pineapple is the big flavour here. Then you've got also grapefruit. You've got those lemons and limes as well. There's not really much in terms of I'm not really getting much in terms of other tropical sort of notes. I just say pineapple is the big flavour on the front end. Then you get that sort of citrusy that zesty citrusy of lemons and limes mainly. A little bit of orange just ran off, and then a little bit of sort of like a pink grapefruit. I wouldn't say it was bitter. There's just that sort of sharpness on the back end. But really pleasant. Nothing overly spectacular. The mouth feels a little disappointed. It's quite high in carbonation, but I'm giving it a 32 for flavour. Value for money. Now, I know you would expect, Rocker, value for money, you can give it 7 out of 10, aren't you? I'm going to give this one 8. And I'll tell you the reason why. One, it's a slightly bigger can, so we're not talking about 330ml cans. It's a really nice, juicy beer. But the thing is, for me, is that this is a beer that was brewed in Australia and brought over to us here in the UK. I mean, I think you've got to give the value for money a bit better, because I think you'll go, if you try to buy, I mean, one, I've never seen many Australian beers in bottle shops, but if you wanted to try and buy it, you probably would be expecting to pay more just because it's been made on the other side of the earth. So I'm giving it an 8. Could be a Beer52 review first. 8 out of 10 for value for money, and it's in that 375 can. And then overall experience, well, it's quite nice. It's just a bit weird because I think if it was a hot summer day, my overall experience I probably would score it a couple of points higher. But because we're in the winter, we're drinking it. Is it as enjoyable? It is very pineapple-y, and that is the big. I do like a pineapple flavour, but when it's quite sort of overpowering, which is quite overpowering, but it's quite thin. Although it's 6%, it feels very light and fresh, and it is quite a refreshing beer. So I'm giving it 13 for overall experience. So we top those scores up, and we're off to a pretty good start. 75 out of 100. It's a White Snake beer. So we're going to slide this one in slow and easy. And until the next review, could be another one from Australia. Keep on rocking.